right? So it is loose. I brought this one in because I thought it's kind of cool that you can see the dress form through the shirt, and it should make measuring a little bit easier. We aren't going to be rendering this as a sheer fabric. We're just going to be drawing it as a black and white kind of a thing. In the computer lab, we'll learn how to make something semi-transparent so that we could make it look like this. So for now, we're just pretending it's a plain old opaque shirt. Okay, I'm pointing that out because our darts here, they're fisheye darts, yep. And we actually see the intake of the dart through the fabric. We're not going to be drawing that. We're just going to be drawing the actual lines of the darts. The other thing is this fabric is sort of a chiffon, kind of a crepey chiffon, and it's kind of limp. And so what's happening is the hem is kind of rising and falling with her body. Her bust is pulling the hem up. We're going to draw the hem as if it's straight, because it is a straight hem if I laid it flat on the table. It's just being kind of wiggly. So I need to decide which arm we're going to use for the form. How do we figure that out? Okay, so down, having it down makes it so we can't really see what's going on at the underarm. Having it out is buckling. The diagonal, you see how that's looking pretty good. That's the direction that this sleeve is most comfortable hanging. But if I draw this flat with the arms straight out, it's going to be kind of awkward to put on a presentation board, and it's going to make it hard to kind of Tetris all your pieces together onto the board that we're going to be creating. So usually I fold one or more of the sleeves. So that makes the drawing a little bit more compact, but it also lets me see what's happening on the sleeve better, because there's more detail on the back side of the sleeve than there is on the front. So this lets me see the detail on the front view, which tends to be the more important view when we're drawing. So sometimes I fold one sleeve, and sometimes I fold both sleeves, just depending on my mood. I think for this term we're going to fold one sleeve so that we can really get the distinction between what's happening on the back side of the cuff versus what's happening on the front side of the cuff. So this is what it would look like folded both ways, but this time around we're going to do that. Okay? I find that it's tricky to draw the sleeve folded if you're just starting off drawing it folded. What I prefer to do is I draw them straight, and then I actually fold my paper and trace through. That way I get the nice proportion of the sleeve. It doesn't look too skinny or too wide at the bottom. I know it's the correct length. Okay? So we're going to first off sketch it like this, and then we will fold our paper and trace the sketch through. Does that make sense? Okay. So anchor points, what's important? What do you think you would need to know for the outside shape? So are there any points that are going to be the same as our t-shirt? Right? We would want center front. What else would be the same as our t-shirt? So center front what?
Neck.
Center front neck. What else?
Center back neck.
Center back neck. So those are the same as the t-shirt. There's a collar involved, but we'll talk about the collar later. What else?
The center front hem.
Center front hem.
Side.
Side what though? Because we've got several points we have to find. So we need side hem. Side, what else? Side. There's some more side things we need.
The waist.
Side waist. Side, one more.
Bust.
Yeah, bust or underarm. So we want to know how wide it is at the widest, how wide it is at the narrowest, and how wide it is when it hits the sleeve. So side bust or side underarm. Okay, so far these are the same as the t-shirt, right?
Mm-hmm.
What else? What else is the same as the t-shirt? What
Shoulder
else?
tip.
Yeah, shoulder tip. Okay.
Overarm sleeve length.
So we want to know overarm sleeve length, or we could kind of figure out where it's supposed to hit on her hand. That might be a little bit easier. So we want the overarm sleeve. I'm gonna call it, what should we call this? So we wanna know, cuff, like the cuff hem at the top of the hand, I don't know, cuff, wrist, let's do,
Sleep length.
cuff, edge, because we're not actually gonna measure sleeve length, that's just gonna be the trick. Cuff, edge, top. So I'm gonna call like this the top of her hand and this the bottom of her hand, okay? And then we would want cuff, edge, bottom. So we would need to know where this point is and where this point is. Make sense? Okay, what else? So if I had points that I was connecting the dots, I know where, we could find where this one is, we've listed that. We could find where this one is, where this one is.
High point shoulder.
High point shoulder, okay? Now this one's a little tricky. We kind of need two different measurements here. We would need sort of the top of the collar, right? And we would need where the collar is hitting at the high point shoulder, okay? So